What's the crack, lads? Welcome back to the Dundee FC career mode here on EAFC 24. I'm DFG, and it's been a hot minute since I've been on EAFC, um, the career mode here. But finally, I'm getting to do the first transfer window of the series after being fired in our first go. This is the second go. We've gotten through season one, and we are going to be able to go through our first ever transfer window here. So lots of decisions here to make here. Lots of players to try and replace after the majority of them will be leaving after their loans finish. So lots to do in this transfer window. Looking forward to going through it. And going through the statistics here for all of our players. It's sorted by appearances. You can stop and check them out here. I'm not quite sure if I ran through them in the last video. If I did, this won't be in it, but there are all of our statistics for the season. Just got a youth player unsettled there. Brendan Gibson wants to come up, the goalkeeper. Not great potential, but nonetheless could be a solid addition to the squad. Going to put him on, bring him up and see if I can send him out on loan, and maybe he could be our goalie maybe down the line. I'm not sure. I might end up selling him, but I will bring him up to the first team and see how he gets on. These are the other guys that we have in the youth academy right now. Yes, you can take a quick look at them there. Got our first option here for Brendan Gibson. It's Port Vale who have put in an offer for him. That's actually pretty damn good for the young for the young man. That's a kind of a perfect loan offer for him to go out on, and gonna delegate that loan and see if he can send him out there for a year's loan to Port Vale. And with that, we will now end our season and move into the next season and see what kind of money we're going to get for the transfer window. So let's see how we get on. That's exactly what you want to see as well. Satisfactory performance. And we look forward to working with you again next season. So we will continue on this time as Dundee FC manager. So very happy to see that and looking forward to tackling this season. Alrighty, let's see what we have here. What do we got? 3 million quid. That is not a lot of money. That is not a lot of money, but we're going to have to do our best to try and bring in the best players that we can. And I'm going to do my best to try and do that. We'll see what we can do with 3 million. They also want us to finish the season with 750k of unspent allocated funds. What that basically means is they want us to spend 2.25 million and no more, including with what we're spending on wages as well. So that's a big ask. But we'll see what we can do, and we need to start making some moves. So let's really get into this transfer market. Going into the actual squad itself here, not all the players have gone back. Like Archie Gray is still there, and Rocco Vata and such. One player I do want to get rid of, Jakub Brabek. We had a problem with him during the summer, and I 100% want to get rid of him. So we will indeed sell him. I'm going to transfer list him and get a bit of money off him as well. So that's pretty good. And another thing as well, Mike Trainer is going to be loaned out to FC Nasi when the transfer window opens. So that's pretty good. The one thing I do want to start with here, Rocco Vata. I want to approach to buy him. He's worth 2.2 million. I'm not quite sure if they're willing to go lower than that. I'm not sure. I'd like to maybe get him for lower than that. I'll see what Celtic look for. I wouldn't mind giving them a sell-on clause, but I don't want to spend, 2.2 million on one player. I don't think that's really what we want or what we would like to do. So for me, really, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to try and do here. I'm going to try and get Rocco Vata, see what we can do. and go from there. Thinking. Seems that we have Yappa. We have Brabeck. We want to get rid of him. I could give them Jakub Brabeck. I don't mind giving him, and then just giving them nothing. Because he's worth more than Vata, and I want Vata, but I don't want Brabeck. They might actually go for this, because Brabeck is better than Vata. Let's see what they say for a straight up swap. They don't want Brabeck. That's fine. They are looking for more than his value. And honestly, that's a lot to ask from us. I don't think we're going to be able to afford Vata. 2.2 million is just too rich for our blood right now. They don't want Brabeck. I don't think we're going to be able to bring him in, unfortunately. That's really rough, because I think he's actually a really good player that we could have used. Alternatively, once he returns to Celtic, maybe we bring him in back on loan. Something we'll take a look at for sure. Diego Pineda will leave. We knew he was leaving. He had already his transfer had already been sorted beforehand, so he will be leaving. So that's him gone. Of course, we will have to advance once more in the calendar, but that is him leaving right there. Before I do anything else, there is one guy that I know I can bring in, and I can bring him now, and he's going to be free. And that is it Elias? Yes, by the looks of things. Yes, it is. That's the Chico of the O on the left. So it's Elias Raffin Olsen. Now, he was 68 overall throughout the season, and he was the main guy I wanted to get. Now, he is higher than any player on our team, but I'm okay with that. And the reason I'm okay with that is because he's a goalkeeper, and we need a good goalkeeper. He's also a giant at 6'7". Big dude, but honestly, I need a new goalkeeper. Scott Bain is going to go back to Celtic. I don't want to bring him in. Bringing in a free agent like Elias Raffin Olsen is an excellent idea, and with him being 69 overall, and then with him being only 24 years of age, it's a great addition to the squad. So bringing in Olafsson as our new number one goalkeeper is by far the best choice that we have, and bringing him in for free is good too. I'm normally against bringing in players who are higher overall than our highest player, which would be Rocco Vata at 67 overall. Bringing him in on loan obviously is different, but I do think that bringing in Olafsson is okay, because he's going to help us in terms of defending, because we struggled with that last year, and I think that's fair enough. And there we go. Olafsson will sign for the club on a 3,000 quid a week deal, and get a few more on a signing on bonus. He's signing for 5 years. The 24-year-old, a huge transfer for us, as he is 69 overall and now the highest player in our team. Now, with that, I still don't think I'm going to be bringing in players of Olafsson. Look how tall he is. The man's a giant. I'm not going to be bringing in players equal to Olafsson's overall. I think 67 is probably the max that I'll go to. I just think that's fair, given that Rocco Vata was the player I wanted to bring in. We just can't afford him in terms of the finances. But bringing in Olafsson is a massive, massive plus for us, given that we do need a new number one. And he will take the number one jersey, as well as he is going to be GK number one here at Dundee FC for the new season. Next up, I want to go for a striker. I had been on Thomas Cannon for the longest time, but now at 72 overall, he's certainly way out of our reach. However, I did find someone who I think could be an excellent addition to this squad, and that is Ewan Urain, Scottish international. He's out in Athletic Bilbao at the moment. He's got pace. He's big. He's good shooter, good on the ball, physical. I think Ewan Urain would be a really good addition. They're asking for 1.7 million, so I think that I could actually get him for less than that, and maybe exchange Lucas Brabeck as well with that. Maybe they'd agree with it. I'm going to try see what we can do trying to bring in Ewan Urain here to start the transfer window. After bringing in the goalkeeper, now we go to the other end of the fields and try and get a new striker. They won't take Jakub Brabek. So they don't want a center half. But maybe I can get them to lower their demands. They do have a 1.8 million. I'm not paying 1.8 million for him. I'll see if I can get 1 million and maybe give him maybe a 20% sell-on clause, and then player swap someone we don't need. So they don't want a center half, as far as I'm concerned. They don't want that. So maybe if we can give them maybe a midfielder or someone who we tend to not use. Sean Byrne is a good player. I like him. Jordan McGee, Max Anderson, Finlay Robertson. Kind of thinking about maybe giving them Finlay Robinson, but at 62 years of age, kind of hard to do that. Max Anderson's another player that I do like as well. Maybe none of the midfielders. I do like our midfielders. Cammy Kerr at 28 years of age, he might be someone we could get rid of, because I don't need him realistically. He's a little bit underwhelming for them, you know. They probably would want someone. I can't imagine them wanting him, no. They've agreed a 1.5 million deal with a 20% sell-on clause. That's a little bit more than I wanted to spend on him, but we need a striker who can score goals, and I think Ewan Urain can. He's 68 overall, slightly higher than what I had said, 67, but I think that so bringing in Ewan Urain is a good idea, and I think bringing him in is probably the best idea. So we're going to try and go do that right now. And for 6,500 a week, taking a 3,000 or so pay cut, Urain will come back to Scotland, and he will be our new man to lead the line. Ewan Urain, 6,500, and he will be the man to hopefully get us scoring more goals, because we did struggle last year to score. I think he's a guy who could put the ball in the back of the net a little bit more for us. He is a significant upgrade in Amadou Bakayoko, though I did think Bakayoko had some good runs last year. But another addition to the squad. We still have lots of additions to make. Centre half, full back is another one we need to take a look at. And having already spent 1.5 million on Urain, could be difficult to find a left back that we can trust. But bringing this man in, I'm more than happy to bring him back to his where he plays for internationally anyway. Urain is said to be Scottish on his nationality, so very happy to see him. The 68 overall. I'm ready to see our new striker. I've been looking for a left back since Owen Beck has left the club. So we need to find a new left back, and Lewis Gordon is the man I think is probably the best player that I can find. He's fast, he's pacey, good dribbling, can defend a little bit. Not as physical as I would like him to be, but nonetheless one that can be good defensively. I think he's got some good defensive awareness is a little bit low, but his stand tackling and slide tackling are pretty good. So I'm pretty happy with where he's at. My biggest issue right now is that he's worth 950k, but I think that we can maybe spark up a deal to maybe send Lee Ashcroft or something their way to give them a little bit of extra money. Realistically, if this fails, I'll probably go into the free agency market and use Mulligan at right back and Kerr at left back. So we have two right backs. We can put one of them at left back and then bring in maybe two free agents as right backs and left backs and go from there. But I do want to see if I can get Lewis Gordon on a decent enough deal. His market value is 950k. Personally, I think if we could get him for anything under that, maybe plus a player or something, I'd be happy. So let's try and get that and go from there. Certainly one I don't think is going to be one that we can complete. I really can't. They don't want Ashcroft. I'll see if they'll go with anyone else, maybe Joe Shaughnessy or something. Maybe give him a little bit extra on the sell-on clause. Personally, I don't think that they do. No, they're not going to want him. No, that's fine. I think we're just going to end negotiation with them. I don't think that... It's a shame we couldn't bring in Vata, and it's a shame we can't bring in Gordon, but they're fairly adamant in keeping him, so we'll have to see what we can do. I do have a backup plan, though. What I'd love to do, but I think it is getting a little bit too... I suppose greedy would be to bring in Tiden Mengi. I talked about bringing him in and on loan. We weren't able to do so. I'd love to bring him in. I think looking at his stats here, he just looks really good. But with how high his overall is, I just don't think it's fair. I said I don't want to bring in too many high-rated players. I've already brought in two players that are higher than my highest overall player. The highest overall I wanted to bring in, which was 67, which is unfair. So I don't want to bring in any more. But I do have someone else that I want to take a look at, and that's Johnny Kotrumbis from Perth Glory. He's basically just Tiden Mendy light. Very good pace, good physicals, and his defending is good too. I think actually he's very comparable to Tiden Mendy. Good jockey, good anticipation, and he'd be worth. We could probably get him for 750k. So I'd actually probably be willing to give them like 700k plus a player if they take it. Maybe even I'd probably start off at 600k plus a player. Plus he's only on 1.6k a week, so we'd be able to certainly be able to bring him in. I would be very excited to bring him in if I could. Johnny Kotrumbis. Gonna give him a go here. I do want another centre half. I do think Joe Shaughnessy, this would be his last season in the club. Lee Ashcroft needs to go. If there's any more offers that come in for him, that would be fantastic. But I do want to go with Johnny Kotrumbis, see if I can get him in on the first day of the transfer window and go from there. 600k on the button for Kotrumbis, which I think is a very good deal. Yeah, 600k, that's what, 150k less than what his market value was. I'll take that. Johnny Kotrumbis could be joining this club as a Tiden Mendy delight, and as a Tiden Mengi backup or light. Johnny Kotrumbis on 600k could be bringing him in instead of who I said I wanted, but this could be a pretty bargain buy here. And on a slight wage increase of 2,000 quid a week, Kotrumbis is going to be our third addition to the squad. And all we need to do now is bring in some players to fill out the squad, such as a left back, a right back, maybe a central defensive midfielder as well. And from there, we will have a very, very, very good squad. Kotrumbis joins Luke Ivanovic, another Australian who has come to Dundee FC, making it a little bit of a stop for Australian players now. Might actually have to do some scouting out in Australia. We're getting a little bit of a reputation. But Johnny Kotrumbis is going to join Dundee FC for 600k. And these are the types of deals that we want to make. Players that maybe teams aren't looking at, and people, players that people may not use in all of their career modes. But these are the type of players that we're going to have to go after. Kotrumbis joins the squad. And after one day at the office here in our first transfer window, we're already down to 412k, which is below what they want us to have an unspent budget on. So maybe we can get in another player. We'll have to wait and see. But three new arrivals here in Dundee FC have already made us a better team. And let's see if we can do some more willing and dealing here for the rest of the transfer window, as we've already done the majority of the work that I wanted to do in the very first day of the transfer window. So let's see what else happens in this transfer window before we get back into the Scottish Premier League. We've actually got an offer here from Aberdeen for Lee Ashcroft, which is the best offer I've had since he's been put on the since he wanted to go on the transfer list. And honestly, at 410k, I'd be happy to just accept that. But we're going to negotiate here, see if we can get a few more k out of them. 440. And that's agreed. 440k. Got another 30k out of him, which doesn't seem that significant. But when you're Dundee FC and you've only got 3k or 3 million to spend in the transfer window, every 10k counts. And he may make his way to Aberdeen. And that would be a good move for Ashcroft as well, I would think. 30 years old, maybe get some European football. Good move for Ashcroft in his advancing years. Got another loan offer here for Brendan Gibson. This time it's Carlisle United. Once again, perfect, really. I'll happily send him on a 2-year loan. If they want to take him for 2 years, I'll happily take it. They can take him for a short-term loan. I don't mind. I'm going to try and send him out, see how they get on. Got another offer for Lee Ashcroft, but I'm going to try and push it more towards Aberdeen because I think that's more realistic, and yeah, we'll go with that. And there it goes. Lee Ashcroft will make his way to Aberdeen. Not a surprise given that he put in his transfer request, but nonetheless, Ashcroft was a pretty good player for us when he played. We just have other options, and you know, when I think you've got the player that he is, I think that's a pretty decent thing to do. He's the guy. He's a very good player, and honestly, I think that he's going to be a good player for Aberdeen. Someone we could actually take a look at here is Ben. I don't know how you pronounce this name. Christine. Not 100% sure, but 65 overall. Got a bit of pace on him. A little bit all-rounded player, Christine. Good dribbling. Defending's not great, but nonetheless not terrible. A technical player. We do need a left back. At 65 overall, I would be willing to try and buy him and give them Jakub Brabec. Maybe I could do that and see how that goes. Brabec, of course, is a 74 overall, so maybe I could just do it straight up. We'll see if they're interested. They don't want Brabec, so I'm not going to try and fight them. I probably could get the money for Christine here. I just don't think it's really a good idea. They don't want Brabec. I'm not going to push it. I'm just going to leave it at that and call it the end there. I do have other options at left back, and we'll see if we can continue to try and push Brabec out the door. But unfortunately, Christine is not going to be the man who's going to come in. A guy I've also been looking at is Jack McKenzie. Now, I'm not 100% sure that Aberdeen will actually, work with us here. I've tried it in previous games, and it said that they will not go with a rival. But maybe Jack McKenzie plus and giving them Brabec, they might be more interested. We did do business with them for Ashcroft. Let's see if they will take another one of our centre halves here. They'd be more interested in Tyler French. which I don't want to give them Tyler French. I'm not okay with that, but maybe give them someone else, maybe a midfielder. I'm kind of interested in Sean Byrne. Isn't the player he was? We have other players that are better. Cameron. I'd be more willing to put Max Anderson on with Jamie McGrath now than Sean Byrne, even though Sean Byrne did do well. But let's see how they look at Sean Byrne. 440k plus Sean Byrne. What are we looking at? They're not interested in Sean Byrne. They are willing to give him for under market value. They do like Tyler French. I do have Katrumbas, of course, now, so that would be nice. But I like Tyler French. I think he's a very good player. Can play anywhere across the back four. They like Joe Shaughnessy. They say no. I didn't even change the transfer for some of that. They just straight up don't want him. 770k. Honestly, a 24-year-old left back. Don't know if he's still growing, but honestly, I think Jack McKenzie is worth it. 780k for Jack McKenzie, a left back who, honestly, I think is a good player. And at 6'3", he's big. He can defend. Can play center half as well if we need him to. Jack McKenzie may be coming to Dundee. And McKenzie will join the team. 1.75k a week. A slight decrease in his wages to join Dundee FC. Lee Ashcroft went one way. Jack McKenzie has gone the other. And we will indeed bring in the left back that we need. Jack McKenzie's our guy. He's going to be the man who plays left back. He is going to be another signing. That's for this club. Lots of additions in this transfer window, but nonetheless ones that needed to be made. Jack McKenzie comes in to Dundee FC for 780,000. Looks like he's going to go to Sweden for his loan spell here, Gibson, and I'm okay with that. Get him up there to Sweden, see if he can get some playing time, and see how he gets on up there. Getting awfully close to the first game of the season, and there is the first, there is Gibson leaving to go to Sweden, and hopefully he gets some good game time there and does some good progressing in his young career. Only 17 years old. Go out up there to Sweden where it's cold, much colder than Northern Ireland there, and see how you get on. We have our final day here before we go into the first game of the season, which is against St. Mirren away. So that's a big game. But there is a few transfers I do want to make before we go and do that. And I need to set up the team and stuff like that as well. So there are a few things I want to just set out here first. And we'll go from there. So we'll see how much more we go, but I'm fairly happy with what we have. But I do think we do need to make the squad a bit bigger. Looking at it here, if we go to the squad hub, we only have 23 players. So I do want to get more forwards in, a few strikers. If I could get a few strikers in, we could have that little bit of a rivalry between them. So let's see how we can get on with that, and see if we can bring in any more players. One of the players I was looking to bring in here was Sam Cosgrove, a 6'4" behemoth of a striker. Big lad, can be very good from corners. He's got good strength, good at penalties, very good at heading, good finesse shot. Someone that could help back up Urain, really, is all I'm really looking for. But with someone of his, I suppose, size and stature, and just to give us a little bit of a different animal to bring on and off the bench, I think Sam Cosgrove is actually a really good addition to the squad. And with him being a free transfer, he might be a very good one as well, and might even make it into our squad against St. Mirren. So we'll take a shot at Sam Cosgrove here and see if he gets on. And Cosgrove will indeed sign. 3K a week. A little bit higher than I would like to have paid, but nonetheless was able to bring him in. Cosgrove will be our backup striker. He's on a rotation squad role as well, which will mean he's not going to get upset. So that's a good thing as well. A new addition to the Dundee FC squad here. Another addition here to the Dundee FC squad. And another real big dude who can bring us a different kind of option than New Rain. So another really good signing for us there. Want to bring up a backup left back. Noah Palace is the man I've looked at. A 62 overall, 23-year-old, good pace, pretty much all round player as well. A fairly good backup to Jack McKenzie, and he will be the man that I will bring in for as backup here. Palace will indeed join the ranks. Now, he is an important squad role, but I don't think he's going to pick up many games as a starter. I think Jack McKenzie has that down, but we'll wait and see. Palace might surprise us, and we'll go from there. Next up is Alfie Chang, another man on the free agents list. 65 overall, 21 years of age, so still very young. Very happy to bring him in. Need another sitting player in that midfield and want to bring him in for the big games. And we will do that. Young player that can sit behind, good defender. Happy to do that. And Alfie Chang will be a guy that I would like to bring in. So see what we can do with that. And with that and a 1.8k weekly wage, Chang will indeed join Dundee FC for another addition to the squad. We knew we were going to have to make a lot of moves, given that a lot of our players were going to be going back to their parent clubs after their loan spells here in Dundee. And indeed, we have made some moves. We've played plenty of new players in. We've made a lot of transfers, and I think we've made a lot of good ones as well. So this team is better than last year. And I want to make sure that this is a different team and we make some moves, and we have done so. There is one more deal that I want to see if we can make here, and this is probably a little bit, for lack of a better term, bold. Ben Doak is a right winger, Scottish right winger who's at Liverpool. He currently has a weekly wage of 14,000. He's 68 overall. I don't think I can bring him in terms of buying him, but I would really like to see if I could bring him in on loan. Have him as a guy who can play on that right hand side, and see if we can bring in a player like that. Unfortunately, they're not interested. So Doak will not be coming here. I do need a winger, and I don't really have one here. The guy that I suppose I could go for I'm gonna remove Dylan Connolly. I don't need Dylan Connolly. Can I remove you? Yes. However, there is a guy that I can bring in. Nathan Holland, 26 years old, really quick. And he's the guy I'm going to make the move for. I just think that we need more wingers. We've only got 4. if Holland comes in, and I need more players, and he's going to be the guy that I'm going to go for. And for 3.5k a week, Holland will join the team. So we brought in a few free agents here before our first game. We will play our first game here today before we end. So we will get the first game of the season of our new season in today. And now after bringing in those free agents, I'm happy with where the squad is. I still expect a few players to go out. Joe Shaughnessy. I'm really trying to get rid of Lucas Brabeck. Plenty of time left in the transfer window as well, so maybe we could try and strike a deal up with someone, maybe even with Ben Doak, see if we can do that and bring him in via a player swap. We'll have to wait and see, but right now I'm pretty happy with where the team is at, and I'm happy to go into our first game. First off, St. Mirren. And we face them away from home here today. Big game to start the season, and the first game of our season, and a lot of new players starting today. Let's see what we can do. I want us to get off to a winning start. We got it. We did it really well in the end of last season. In the second half, I wanted to get off to a better start to the season this time. Gone attack again. It's McMenamin. Ball's back to the edge of the box, and it's blocked again. St. Mirren are hitting us on the counter-attack quickly, and we've actually been able to deal with them pretty well so far. Little ball forward, Jermaine not quite able to get there, but he's able to hold off the defender, and Cameron comes forward, gets the strike away. And it's a decent save from the goalkeeper. Probably could have done more with that, Cameron, but in the end it gets there, and it's Urain, and that's a great chance. Thought that was the opener for us there, but in the end it goes off target. And a chance that really Urain should have put away. There's a poor challenge. Now there's a good chance for us to get something from this free kick. We haven't really troubled St. Mirren, but would like to give this one a go. Cameron, wild out. It's off the wall. That's a great chance. McGrath, turn, save. He's starting to make some opportunities now. Riley, McGrath again, trying to get that extra yard. Gives out to Holland. He's turned his man here, it seems. Dink into the middle. Cameron, or that could have been Cameron actually, but it seems that St. Mirren have gotten it away, and now they can try and counter-attack us. Got O'Hara, Curris there, gets the foot in, gets it forward. It's not gone away yet. A young gap. Portales is there. He gives it back. We cannot lose this now. We're even better in this second half. They haven't done much, to be fair. Good block. And we get out of it. Seems they're going to play the ball short. Ball goes in. Mackenzie is there. He gives it to Riley. And now we're on the break. Cameron needs help. Won't get it, but he will get past his man. And Cosgrove, who's just come on, is making a move in the middle for a good play. Back to Riley. He strikes it, and it's off target. And that could have been it. A fantastic counter-attack by us at the end of the game. And really, Riley did an excellent job to get that strike away, and it's just off target. In the end, it was a good game from both sides. We probably had the better chances. And in the end, it's a draw, but it's a good draw to start our season. We showed a lot of promise. Sharpness probably isn't quite there yet, but we certainly proved that we could be dangerous this season once we get into our groove. A 0-0 draw here against St. Mirren to start the season. Not a terrible result at all. And that is all we got time for. New season here for Dundee FC. Get off to the right start, really, with the draw. It's not a loss, which is, all we really want to do. Very happy with what we did. Could have scored, had a few chances, and maybe on a different day we put them away. But we did show that we could be dangerous. Urain was good. McGrath was excellent. I thought Chang, another player who did really well in our first game. So lots of positives. And in the end, I think that it was a good result. But next up, we will face Motherwell as we get into the swing of things. And we will go through the transfer deadline day as well, I'm sure. But that's all we have time for, lads. I hope you enjoyed this episode. And if you did, please like and subscribe. Plenty of more content coming your way. And we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, guys. Peace out.